Hey traders, this is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group with two trade ideas that I'm looking at that came upon on Friday, July 29th that I think you might be interested in. And full disclosure, these are two, I would say, pretty speculative trade ideas. But if you're looking for something down that speculative road, this may be something that interests you. So, it's obviously we're going to be headed into August. What have we heard about all year long? The move in gold, the move in gold miners. Gold miners, one of the best performing areas of the market. I don't have the data right in front of me, but I believe they're up over 100% year to date. And we've also been hearing a lot about silver miners as well, silver wheaton, which continues to be active. But I wanted to look at a couple other metals names. And the first one that I'm looking at is platinum. So a little bit off the radar and not something that you heard about too much, maybe here and there, but the move in platinum over the last month has been really, really strong. It's up 18% since the beginning of July. Another name that's similar, or another metal that's similar, is palladium. Look at what palladium has done over the same time period as well, up about 32% here. So really strong performance. And the reason why I started to look at these two is we saw some call activity on Friday in a name called SWC. Not a name that I've really seen a lot of option activity in, but it was an opening trade. It was a sweep trade going out to January. And so I started to do a little bit of investigation. So first of all, what is SWC? I'll give you the description. Stillwater Mining Company explores and develops, extracts, processes, and refines platinum, palladium, and associated metals. So I started to look at the palladium and platinum charts, and they've really been on fire, just as I showed for the last month. And I think that these could only be in the beginning moves. If you take a look at, let's look at platinum. It has had a real nice move, and it's now all the way through on the weekly chart, all the way through the value area. Also just fired off a buy signal. So, this is the right here, 1134 is the level to watch. Maybe it gets, it is starting to get a little bit overbought. Maybe it breaks out, returns, and then moves higher. So that's what I'm looking for in platinum. And then if you look at palladium, palladium is a little bit different looking chart. Still, also a very nice buy signal that just occurred here. And if you follow the value areas, we've had this move above the bottom of value, and a lot of people who study value areas, they trade off of them using what's called an 80% rule. So once a future stock, whatever you're looking at, once it gets firmly into the value area as it is right now, there's an 80% chance that it gets from the bottom of value all the way to the top. So that's what I would be looking for in palladium. If you look at the daily charts of both of these, the one thing that I'm a little bit worried about is they're pretty overbought. This move has happened very quickly, just over a month, and it's gotten pretty overbought on the daily charts. So, if these two start to get a little bit of a pullback, that would be an area to where I think you want to get involved. And you could do this through SWC. Why I like following option activity, unusual option activity, because sometimes it opens my eyes to a name or to an equity that I really was completely off my radar screen, didn't know anything about, and you see some call activity and you start to investigate it, and you could kind of see, for example, what's happened, why somebody's buying calls in this particular name. The other thing is this name also reported earnings on Friday. And they were great earnings. They beat earnings, so you could see this earnings surprise. It is a very small cap name, so again, a speculative play. But you've got plenty of time with this type of trade, and personally, I like the call activity that goes out. It's not just August. They're not just looking for a 1 or 2 day move or a couple day move, but they're going out to January. So they think that there's possibly, a bigger trend here. So, just like platinum and palladium are a bit overbought on the daily charts, so is SWC. It gapped up on earnings. But if you look at the weekly chart, It's also pressing above value here. So it could be on to, a little bit of a greater move. So if you get any type of pullback, what I did was I started a position in SWC using this January position. If we get a little bit of a pullback, that's when I'll really start to go into the position bigger size. But you could also be creative with this, and you can also do things like, being it's a little bit overbought in the short term, you can, maybe sell some August calls if you do establish a bigger January position. So secondly, the other interesting trade that we saw on Friday was in MT, another steel name, which is also, this whole group has been on fire. If you take a look at the activity that occurred, a couple weeks ago in U.S. Steel, we saw a January call buyer, out in U.S. Steel. This was probably about a month ago, and you can see what U.S. Steel has done. It's continued on. The stock was back in October a $42 stock. Back in the beginning of the year, it got all the way down to $5. Now it's 27. So MT, hasn't had quite big of a move as U.S. Steel has. If you're looking at the weekly chart, what I would be concerned with is, you want to make sure that it does get into the yearly value area. So I'm watching 702. It's got a little ways till it gets there. So what I did is same thing as I did in SWC is I started a position in MT. Again, this is a January position. So somebody thinking, very similar to the activity that we saw in U.S. Steel about a month ago when somebody bought January calls. So I like this. They also went after these. It wasn't just one particular, chunky order. They actually bought these continuously over the day on Friday. So I like it when also somebody is kind of doing that accumulation of a position. And you could see from the beginning of the morning, they actually started to pay higher prices too. So somebody was continuously buying here. So the level again that I'm watching is 702, but I think this has a chance. So two speculative plays that I have my eye on, SWC and MT, going out to January. So thank you very much for watching the video. I am the CEO of Tribeca Trade Group. You can go to our website. So let me go ahead and bring that up. That's tribecatradegroup.com. We are running a promotion right now. You could check out our trading room where we go over these ideas in detail every day. Our trading room is open from 8:40 in the morning till about 4:30 every day, half an hour after the close. So the special that we're running right now, you could check it out for a week for free. You can cancel that at any time, no obligation whatsoever. The reason why I'm running that type of a special for the first week is because I think you're going to like the trading room. So again, thank you for watching the video and have a great weekend.